The laziest man in our office just got my promotion. His one-sentence secret will make you sick. His name is Leo, and while I spent the last year working 60-hour weeks, he spent his evenings at happy hour. While I ate lunch at my desk, my fingers greasy on the keyboard, he took long walks in the park. Now, he's my boss. The announcement email felt like a physical punch. We are thrilled to announce Leo Vance as our new senior project manager. I read it 3 times, the letters blurring. It had to be a mistake. My project, the one that I bled for, the one that I sacrificed weekends for, was the reason our department hit its targets. My name was all over it. Leo's name was on the email distribution list. That was his contribution. That afternoon, in my first team meeting with Leo as my manager, I made my choice. I would show them. I would work so hard that my value would be undeniable. I would produce so much that ignoring me would be impossible. When Leo assigned tasks, I took on the biggest one, a monstrous data analysis project everyone else avoided. I'll handle it, I said, my voice sharp. Leo just smiled, a calm, easy smile that made my blood boil. Great, Mark. Appreciate you taking one for the team. That night, I stayed until 10 p.m., the fluorescent lights humming over my empty section of the office. I was laying the foundation for my comeback. But as I packed my bag, a notification popped up on my screen. It was an automated calendar reminder from HR. My access to the senior leadership development files I had been using for my project had been revoked. My new manager, Leo, had just cut off my main tool for the job I had volunteered for. My strategy of working harder became a spiral into hell. Without access to the development files, the data analysis project became a manual nightmare. I had to reconstruct everything from raw sales numbers and old spreadsheets. My days became a blur of numbers, my nights a series of short, dreamless sleeps interrupted by the panic of a looming deadline. I stopped calling my friends. I stopped going to the gym. My world shrank to the size of my monitor. I was a machine built for one purpose, to prove Leo wrong. But the harder I worked, the more mistakes I made. A misplaced decimal in a report. The wrong client name in an email. Small things, but they piled up. Leo would point them out, not with anger, but with a quiet, almost sympathetic tone in our one-on-one meetings. Mark, we need to be careful with the details, he'd say, and that calm disappointment was worse than shouting. The breaking point came on a Thursday. I had been awake for nearly 36 hours to finish the data project. I submitted it at 5 a.m. and walked into the office a few hours later, feeling hollowed out but triumphant. I had done it. At the 9 a.m. team meeting, Leo pulled up my report on the main screen. Good effort here, Mark, he started, and my heart swelled. Then came the fall. But, he said, clicking to a new slide, the core assumption is wrong. You used last year's growth model. We updated that 3 months ago. He showed the team his own one-page summary. It was clean, simple, and devastatingly accurate. He had solved the same problem in a fraction of the time because he had used the correct tool. My mountain of work was useless. I sat there, humiliated, the team's eyes on me, feeling the last of my energy drain away. That afternoon, I got an email from HR. It was a formal performance warning. I was on the edge of quitting. I had nothing left. That Friday, I saw Leo at a bar near the office. Fueled by anger and desperation, I walked up to him. "How?" I asked, my voice cracking. "How did you do it?" "I worked twice as hard as you." Leo took a slow sip of his beer and looked at me. He did not seem surprised. Then he said the sentence. "I stopped doing the work my boss asked for, and I started doing the work my boss's boss needed." For a moment, it felt like a key turning in a lock. I finally understood. I had been so focused on completing tasks, on being a good soldier. Leo had been focused on winning the war. He was solving problems our old boss did not even know he had. A wave of clarity washed over me. I felt a surge of hope. That weekend, I did not work. I thought. I researched the company's biggest challenges for the next year. I found one: our client retention system was inefficient and costing us millions. I spent all of Sunday building a detailed proposal for a new automated system. It was the best work I had ever done. On Monday morning, I walked into Leo's office and put the proposal on his desk. "This is what our department should be working on," I said, my voice steady. Leo read it carefully. He looked up, and for the first time, his smile did not seem calm. It seemed hungry. "This is brilliant, Mark," he said. "It's almost exactly what I presented to the director last week to get this promotion. I'm glad you're on board." He picked up the phone. "I'll tell her you're ready to lead the data gathering phase." I was in the lowest circle of hell. He had not just beaten me. He had made me do his homework for him. My best idea was now just a task on his project plan. I sat at my desk, defeated. My career was over. I had been outplayed, and now I was just a pawn in Leo's game. I stared blankly at the performance warning from HR, at the useless data report I almost killed myself to finish. And then I saw it. A small detail at the bottom of Leo's one-page summary, the one he used to humiliate me. A footnote: data processed using Omni Automate Suite. Omni Automate. The expensive new software the company had bought that only senior managers had access to. The tool he had used to make my hard work look foolish. The tool I was never given. My pro was not about working smarter. It was about the fact that the game was rigged. Leo was not a genius. He just had better tools, and he made sure I did not. My choice in that first meeting was never between working hard and working smart. It was between playing a game designed for me to lose, or changing the game. I opened my email. I did not write to Leo. I did not write to HR. I wrote a short, polite email to the Chief Technology Officer, the boss of Leo's boss. The subject was, Security Vulnerability in Omni Automate Suite. In the email, I explained that during my recent deep dive data analysis, I noticed that the software's default settings left sensitive client data exposed to anyone on the internal network. I attached a small file proving my point. I recommended an immediate company-wide settings update. I did not mention Leo. I did not mention the promotion. I just reported a problem that the CTO needed to know about. An hour later, my phone rang. It was the CTO's office. The next day, a company-wide memo went out. The Omni Automate rollout was frozen pending a full security review. Leo's entire strategy was now on hold. Indefinitely. That afternoon, I was offered a new position on the CTO's Special Projects team, focused on process integrity. The promotion was bigger than the one I had lost. I walked out of the office at 5:00 p.m. As I passed Leo's new glass-walled office, I saw him inside. He was not smiling. He was on the phone, looking stressed, with a pile of papers in front of him. He was finally doing some work. I did not feel sick anymore. I felt free.